Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about shooting in NBA 2K26 MyTEAM because I think it's in an interesting spot right now, and I think a lot of people might be struggling a little bit with the shooting more than I guess they probably expected to, more than I expected to be totally honest. I have struggled, or at least I was struggling yesterday on Friday night. I have had a mixed feelings about shooting so far. I feel like in Park, it's in a really a really awesome state, but I don't think in my team, especially in like a mode like Salary Cap, where you're using a pretty scrappy lineup, a lot of like rubies and sapphires and emeralds and cards like that in your lineup, it can be kind of tough, to be totally honest, when it comes to shooting at this point in the year. And I think a lot of people are probably struggling a bit with that shooting. And that's something that I'll be honest, I was struggling with initially as well. And I still kind of am to a certain extent, but I want to give you all my tips for how I think to most effectively shoot in my team this year. So we'll start just in freestyle and talk about some of the shooting stuff that I have been practicing that I think has been making it a little bit easier for me to shoot with consistency. Number one, I just think freestyle is going to be your best friend when it comes to the shooting this year, because of the way the tempos and the things are just different. Freestyle is going to be your best friend, whether you're shooting with button or with stick. Now, I will say this. My plan coming into 2K26 was to shoot with stick. I then was shooting with stick the first couple games and I was like, I don't know about this. And so I switched to button. And then I was like, oh, I was liking button offline. But then I went online last night. I was playing Salary Cap, and I'm not gonna lie, I was struggling pretty big time with the button. Now, in freestyle, I'm pretty knocked down with the button. So I'm not entirely sure why that would be, but it does seem as though I was struggling online with the button last night. And I really think it's a matter of opinion in terms of how you want to shoot this year, button or stick. Compared to last year, I really feel like last year there was a lot more like, you could go either way. This year, there's not really much of that, you know what I mean? And I think you can really, or last year, I'm sorry, you pretty much had to shoot with the stick, I feel like. This year, I feel like you can kind of go either way and could kind of make an argument for either style of shooting, at least to this point. There might become one that does become more prevalent, and if that is the case, I will let y'all know. But I do think as of right now, at least, the shooting is pretty interchangeable in terms of what you prefer. For me, I will say I am personally preferring, to this point anyway, with the stick. The fact that you don't have to green the timing, you just have to green the tempo is nice. Now, it is easier to green the tempo if you green the timing as well. You have a bigger green window, and the longer you hold it, you do sometimes have to hold it down a little longer or a little shorter on the timing, and you have to adjust to that. Now, I will say it's tough, and you have to learn your players' timings. Like, the timing especially is not a particularly big green window, it doesn't feel like. The tempo seems like a pretty big, decently big green window, but when your players get tired, it gets really tough. I think stamina is a big deal this year when it comes to shooting. At least it seems like you get a lot of load ups and it's really tough to green with bad stamina. And it also seems like shooting stats and badges matter a lot. Like, I'm greening almost every single shot with Bradley Beal, but if I shoot with PJ Brown, who's okay as a shooter, but not spectacular, that's like a 67 3 ball, I'm gonna be honest, as of right now, it's not super easy. Now, he's got a pretty smooth jumper and he is greenable as well, but it's not incredibly easy. Like, you will miss relatively often, I think, with these types of cards, regardless of shooting button or stick. I will say with a mediocre shooter like a PJ Brown, I have noticed I feel like stick is a little more forgiving than button for a guy who doesn't have a super high 3-point rating. As you can see, I'm not greening much from the outside with the button. I feel like I was greening more with the stick. So for me, with these not as good shooters, especially on like wide open catch and shoot type shots, I feel like the stick is probably the way. Overall, it does to me feel a little more consistent, although I will say, people have said there's a little bit of hitch with the stick this year. I get it. It's kind of a little bit of a hitch stick with the button as well. And shooting off the dribble this year is just not, as of right now, with the SIGs we have in my team and the jumpers we have in my team, it's not extremely good. You get a lot of load ups in game trying to come off of screens and set your feet and shoot. If you're wide open, you could absolutely do it, but it's not super effective, and contests make it pretty darn tough to green. Like, you got a pure green window on wide open shots, sure, but it's not easy. And on contested shots, it's certainly not easy. I think in different modes where people have all 99 stats and a bunch of Hoff shooting badges like in Park and have the best jump shots in the game and the best SIGs in the game to get open with, it's going to be a little bit easier and people are going to have overall more success than they will in-game online in my team. Now, I will say in freestyle, I actually think the shooting's pretty easy. You'll see I'm greening a lot here in freestyle. I personally think the shooting's a lot easier in freestyle than it is in game. Maybe you know why that is. It's because I'm shooting on pro. It doesn't feel like this made a huge difference in the past, but maybe the online difficulty might actually be a little bit higher this year than what it's been in previous years. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it does seem like it's a little bit higher at least. because shooting in game is not easy. I mean, it's not. And I think it's okay to struggle. I do want to say that. It's okay to have it not be easy to start the year. I think your best bet really is to just get in here and lab. Practice your shots with every single player and practice these quick catch and shoots as well. Because the quick catch and shoot is basically what you do is all you do is as you're catching the ball, really before you catch the ball, you call for the pass or whatever, or when you're passing it to a player in my team, you see how that one was slow late? Because I did a quick catch and shoot there and I didn't speed up my, my shooting. It does speed it up, but you have to practice the timing on that as well. The quick catch and shoot timing, because it is pretty tough at times to get used to, and it's a different jump shot timing basically than your regular jump shot. It's a sped up version of that jump shot, but still it's definitely faster, and it's something you do absolutely have to get used to. And honestly, I think if people get used to it, it's gonna be really good, because it's something that it's absolutely noticeable with some of these cards. Like I like Auto Porter a lot so far. This card I got out of a Hidden Gems pack yesterday from Salary Cap. Jumper's nice. Off the quick catch and shoot, it's really nice. You see what I'm saying? Like it's a smooth, easy, good jump shot. You saw that right there. But then I quick catch and shoot and it's like just up and down quick. Like it is a noticeably quicker jumper when you quick catch and shoot it than when you don't quick and catch and shoot it. And it's not that it's a bad jump shot otherwise, but quick catch and shooting it, it's absolutely butter. And I feel like for a lot of catch and shoot shooters, that is absolutely going to be the way this year. I will say as well, one other tip I have been struggling with fading with the stick so far. Fading with the button is not hard, particularly, even though fading with the button you have to be very, very intentional this year with your input on your fade. Like with your left stick specifically, because you're fading with your right stick for shooting stick, you do go up to down, right? Like I just did that there, although I absolutely butchered it apparently. Missed that one too, man. I can't hit. I was hitting him for a second, but now I can't hit him at all. Auto Porter has normal fade, by the way. It looks like there one. That one's green. But you have to be very, like you really got to be pushing your left stick in the direction of the fade. You cannot let go of your left stick at all when you're fading, otherwise you will not be able to fade. Timing was excellent, tempo was rushed. I got to figure out the fade timings in this game. I really haven't labbed that much, but I am feeling like, see, that quick catch and shoot's just so buttery, man. I think people are also struggling with shooting, to be totally honest, because we're early in the year. You just got to keep in mind, we're early. It's going to take some time. It's different. And I actually think it's going to be really good over time. I really do. But for now, be patient, lab your shooting, practice on higher difficulties in freestyle, just get in game and get reps, practice your quick catch and shoot timings to get used to them. And don't worry about the reds. You're going to shoot reds. You've seen me shoot like 10 reds in freaking freestyle here. You're gonna shoot reds. It's okay. It happens no matter how you're shooting. So just practice your shot timings, both off the quick catch and shoot and your regular catch and shoots. Try to practice your off the dribble catch and shoots, especially with the guys you're gonna be coming off of screens and catching and shooting off the dribble with more. Even that can still be kind of tough, to be totally honest. Like I'm peeking here. That's actually, you know what? I almost screened that, but I didn't even mean to do that, but that'll work. I don't know. It's not extremely easy, but it is fun, and I do think it's decently rewarding. And I think the game mode's gonna be in a pretty good spot, honestly, gameplay wise. I could be wrong, but I am hopeful that we're gonna have good, fun gameplay this year. And I guess we'll see. But I really think you can shoot pretty consistently with a lot of practice. And that's my biggest recommendation. Give it reps. Practice between which timing you like. Other thing is, like, for example, I didn't even talk about this. I'm on set point for my release point. Practice with this too, especially if you're shooting with button. I don't know if last year it didn't matter what visual cue you were on for stick shooting. I'm not sure if it does this year or not yet, but mess with this as well. Practice this. The higher up, if you have it on jump, it's gonna be the faster release point. If you have it on release, it's gonna be the slowest release point. Set point and pusher in between. I like set point the most personally, so up to you how you want to do it. But hopefully this video helps you all out at least some in terms of shooting, because I know some people are probably going to be struggling at least a bit, especially online. And again, this is a year where you have to be able to get open to shoot well, to be totally honest. You're not gonna make a ton of contested shots. You make a couple, but you're not gonna make a ton of contests, and you gotta get open. If you're gonna get open, you get good at shooting, you're gonna have a lot of fun this year. So hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.